Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all well. Thank you for joining me today on the How to Craft Network. It's lovely to see you all. My name is Toni, and this is the brilliant studio where you can come and get some fabulous inspiration. Card making, stamping, die cutting, stenciling, embossing folders, all the good stuff that we love, and that's why you're tuning in every single day. I hope everyone's enjoying the weather. Isn't it fabulous? So exciting. The weather's picking up. We're allowed to go out a little bit further now and be with a couple of friends outside, of course. So the future is bright. Let's say hello to everybody. Before I do that, though, don't forget to click that subscribe button over on our YouTube channel. This gives us a wider reach and it allows you never to miss a show. If you want to see all of the shows, there is a bell as well. That gives you a half an hour notice. And if you are struggling seeing comments, or sometimes when we have the product code on the front of our screen, if you struggle to see those on your phone, an iPad or a laptop, if you click the little HD button, it will bring it up to speed so you're not missing half of the graphics on there. So that little HD button is quite important if you want a better viewing experience. So it's lovely to see you all. So everybody's saying hi. So hi Suzanne, Rosie, Sheila, hi Tina, Sue, Bridget, Marilyn, Montgomery 506, Karen, Rosie, Enid. Lovely to see you all. I didn't think there'd be many on today because the weather's nice, but I do appreciate some of you do come in out of the sunshine at some point. So in today's studio, we're going to do a little demo on our fabulous brand new embossing folders, which have been super popular. Thank you so much. And we're going to talk our way through some ink today. So I didn't say I would be telling fibs, but somebody rang our store and spoke to our lovely Becky and basically said they were brand new. Now, please forgive me, I don't remember the lady's name, but I hope she's watching. But if she's not, it is okay. You can go and catch this at any time if you want to go and recap on what inks to use with what. But basically, the lady said she was brand new to craft and simply did not know anything about ink. So today, I'm going to explain a little bit about ink. Will this help you? Hopefully. Does anybody struggle with ink and what to use with what? I know we have advanced crafters that probably know way more than me. That's a given. I haven't been crafting as long as half of you on here. However, I've broken it down to how I understand it in the hope that you will understand it. So hopefully I broke it down quite easy though. It has taken me all morning. I have to tell you, it has taken me all morning. The help and guides that are out there are brilliant, very, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Very instructional and help, but it's sort of like after 1 or 2 minutes, I've lost and forgotten what I was told a minute ago, so already I'm confused. So I've been trying to do some Google searches as well on how to get the help, and again, the formats that were out there were a little bit difficult, so I've sort of compressed it a little bit to make it a little bit easier, and I've broken it down into 2. So hopefully, after today, you'll have an understanding of what ink goes with what and how to figure it out, and if not, we're going to mark them. Okay, so, oh, Helen, let's have a look. I rang the ME Association support team. Oh, Helen's not been very well due to a vaccine. Helen, we are thinking about you, sweetheart. Okay, just stay safe. Whatever happens, stay safe. Okay, so let's get on with it because I know you've been waiting patiently. So, in relation to ink, if you look on my table here, I probably haven't got them all in shot. Let me just bring them all in here, just to show you. So I have all of these lovely inks. So I've tried to bring out some inks that I know probably you'll have in your stash. Okay, let's just separate those so you can see the difference. And then you'll see these as well, which are your lovely black inks, which we use. So I found the easiest way to deal with ink is to break it into 2, coloured and black ink. Okay, we always use colours and we always use a black, okay? If you try and explain one for colour, it's not the same as one for black. So I've split it down. Okay, so we're going to talk about colour first. So I'm just going to move the black out of the way and keep it very, very simple. Okay, and then we will still do a demo. And if you already know all of this, I do apologise, but I think it's really important that we take the frustration out of craft when people are trying to create pretty things and can't because they're getting a bleed, or it's not moving when they want it to move with watercolours. It's frustrating, isn't it? We want to do nice things, but if you don't know the basics, the foundation sort of thing, the rest doesn't follow. So if I can just show you the foundation and then you can build on top of it too. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about colour. So I've just got some inks here. So first of all, I have some distress inks, everyday ink, and I have some oxide inks, okay? Now let me just separate these for you. So you can see I'm putting them into categories here. So, 2 categories, okay? First of all, very, very easy. And you can see because the packaging tells you sometimes as well. So, these ones are dye-based, okay? And these ones are pigment. Now, I've written myself a little bit of a crib sheet to help me out, so I don't tell you anything that's confusing either. I do know the basics, but it's really important that you understand how it works, because if you don't understand how it works, you'll just be buying ink pads for the rest of your life and not knowing why you're buying them. Just because they're a pretty colour, are they going to work with what you want in your stash? Probably yes, or probably no. Okay, so we have a dye ink and a pigment ink, okay? So these are probably the most common ones. So your dye inks, you'll all know you can watercolour with them, okay? You can also watercolour with your pigment inks, okay? They both blend down brilliantly. So if you pop them on your mat, like so, pick them up with a watercolour brush, you can paint with them. So although these are dye and these are pigment, you can paint with them all, okay? They all like water. Just remember that, they all like water. Okay, so these ones here, let's just move these ones out of the way. So your dye-based inks here come in a whole host of colours, lots of different brands, things like that. You'll probably know that when you stamp out your distress inks, you get sort of a distress finish, don't you? Okay, that's because the ink is quite thin, okay? And it's an ink that's quite fast drying, okay? So these dry a lot quicker than your pigment ink. So when you're putting them onto your paper, you'll see them evaporate quicker than if you use a pigment ink. Okay, so I've got 2 distress inks, I've got 2 eyes inks, and I've got 3 coloured ones here. The ink in these is thinner, they dry faster. Always remember that, dry faster, and you can watercolour with them. Let's bring in oxide. So oxide is a pigment ink, which means they sit on the surface. So with a dye ink, they dye your paper. They go straight through your paper, okay? And they are fast drying. With these ones, they sit on your paper a little bit longer. Sometimes you might find you need to heat set them with a gun to dry them. And they are really, really good for your embossing powders too. So you can use your embossing powders with them. They're like a chalky ink and they'll sit on the surface and they'll blend a lot easier as well on your cardstock. So pigment inks are less permanent, sit on your surface a lot longer, and you can do more with them, move them around, things like that. I would probably say all you need to know about these sets of inks here is that you can watercolour with them. You can put water with them and paint with them. That's all you need to know. Okay, so I'll just bring those back in shot. All of them, all dye-based and pigment inks, you can paint with them. Okay, perfect for painting. So if you've got any of these in your stash, you are literally good to go. So let's move just these ones out of the way. So that's coloured ink. Just remember, pigment and dye you can paint with. Add water and paint, okay? And that's probably what all of you have got in your stash. So they're coloured inks. They're for your background, your stenciling, your outlines. If you want to paint with them, you can. But what about black ink? So black ink is where probably people get the most confused. So I have the most 2 common here. I have a VersaFine and a Memento, okay? And it's exactly the same concept. Let's just move these around. So you saw when I separated those ones into dye and pigment, we also have dye and pigment here. So we have a Memento black, okay, which is a dye, and then we have your VersaFine, which is a pigment. So as always, opposites attract. So this one is a pigment, okay, and this one is a dye. So the dye ones have water in them. As you know, you can watercolour with them. So that means that you have to use the opposite. So it's alcohol markers, okay, alcohol markers. Now, if you have a pen, grab a pen, if you've got a Memento ink pad, and pop an A on it somewhere, a big A like this. You're never going to forget then, are you? So this works with all your alcohol mediums. Pens, alcohol inks, what else is alcohol? Can't think what else there might be. Alcohol sprays, maybe, things like that. This one will work perfectly. Now, I don't have all the black ink pads, and I can't go through all the black ink pads because I don't know them. And I'll just show you in a second what I've done for all those people that may not have these specific ones. So that one is for your alcohol markers, and your VersaFine is for your watercolour. So if you want it not to bleed, you need to use VersaFine for watercolouring. So turn it upside down, grab your pen and pop a W underneath. Watercolours. You're never going to forget them. Like so. Okay? Just keep it simple. So opposites attract, okay? That's how it works with the black ink. But with your coloured inks, they all like water. Whether they are pigment or dye, they like them all. But when they're black, it's opposites attract. Okay, so go get your pens, put those letters underneath, and then you know you're not going to use the wrong one ever. My two go-to black inks, they are mine as well. So there we go. So that's that. However, times have moved on since we've been doing our ink pads. And there's such a thing now called hybrid ink, which basically means you don't have to worry about any of that anymore. Although we do, because these are really, really cool, and we buy them because they are so good. However, there are such things now called hybrid ink, which our generation inks are hybrid inks, okay? And what that basically means is you can use them with anything, okay? Why everybody's not doing hybrid ink is probably because it's really expensive, for one. And two, I think people are so used to trying to figure out which goes with which that to throw a hybrid ink in the mix now would probably confuse people even further. But there are some wonderful hybrid inks on the market as well, which you can use with alcohol and water. They love both. Okay, so everybody's getting that. It's brilliant. So what I've done here is, if you go to our website, I have this like little ink usage guide here. Now, this is not one, well, I have added things to it, but it's one that I just got off the internet, and the design team have posted it over on our Eureka fan page as well. Okay, so it had a couple of these in already, but I have added two. Okay, so basically it's got the names of all the common ink pads across the top here, and then it's got down the side what you can use them on, okay? And then if you can use them with that specific ink, it's got a yes in the box. I hope you can see this here. So like for your alcohol pens, what you cannot use them for, things like that. I hope this helps. This is on the download page on our website. Go and check it out. See if it's something that's going to help you with your inking. I think probably most of you are just going to get confused with your blacks, okay? And I've just explained and marked mine. So if you do the same, you're not going to get confused. With your coloured inks, you know, it's colour, isn't it? We normally blend in, we normally colour in, watercolouring with them. They all do that. It's the black ones we really get confused about. Unless it's a hybrid, and then you can work with them all. Okay, any questions? Has that helped? Or have I just completely thrown you all out? Fingers crossed that's helped. But that is in the download page for you if you want to go and get it and download it. It's absolutely free. And then you can pin it to your fridge or to your craft room wall. Ian is saying yes. My design team member saying no. Yes, it's helped. Well done, Fab. Oh, Bridget, I hope you're well. The conversation with Becky this morning, oh my gosh. Yeah, and if you're not sure, test it on a scrap piece of paper and just get your watercolour and see if it bleeds or not. Yeah, with your black ones, it's easier. Just mark them underneath alcohol and water. Use the opposites, okay? So let's do a quick demo. So that was for a lady who's never touched an ink pad before. Now, I do appreciate a lot of you are regularly using ink pads and know the basics, but there might be some people that just pick up an ink pad and guess, which is fine. But if you don't get it right and it frustrates, then maybe the guide will help you, okay? Right, so I'm going to do a quick demo using our brand new embossing folders. Did you all see the launch on the How to Craft Network, which is the one I'm on now, without the sort of guide to help you? If you do like any of the products, you can always still go to FBL, but we'll only have those numbers and codes up when we're going live or we have a launch, because I don't want to turn my channel into a selling channel. Although it's nice that you buy our products, I don't want it to be the sort of sales pitch every time we go to air. So it's nice that we have both and there is a balance. Oh, Wendy's saying very clear. Phew. I have spent a little bit of time on it this morning to try and put them into those categories and things like that as to what goes with what, and hybrid, particularly hybrid. If you're completely unsure, just buy a hybrid ink pad, you'll be absolutely fine. I think Tonic do a hybrid one. Can't think of any other brands that do. We don't do our ink pads anymore because our supplier's not here anymore, bless him. But have a look around. Right, so I'm going to use the Secura one today because I haven't used this one, have I? I love this one. So today we're going to do some watercolouring. Super cool. So I showed you a couple of techniques, didn't I, using our brand new embossing folders. I hope you've used them so far, and if you haven't used them yet, yours are on their way. So what I'm going to do is, when I use my embossing folders, I just take my A plate, one of my A plates out of my embossing machine, cut and emboss. Don't force the embossing folders through your machine though, just be careful with them. If it doesn't go through, take something out, and if it goes through too finely, add a piece of card as a shim or something like that, with whatever machine you're using. I appreciate we all have different machines. So let's just tidy this up so you can see what I'm doing. I don't have hundreds and hundreds of inks, even though I have hundreds and hundreds of watercolours, pans, tubes, gouache and brushes. Yeah, but ink pads, I don't have lots. So it's not too bad for me, but probably I've seen some of your guys' craft rooms on the internet. And I know how many ink pads a lot of you have. So good luck with that one. Print off that guide. So I have a piece of watercolour card here, and it's, if you noticed, it's not a square, so I don't want the full panel in my design here. I'm going to use some of the design. I'm just going to pop it into here. Now I'm going to get the pushed part through onto the smooth side, so it's going to go this way. I'm just going to line that up inside there, and I'm just going to get all of the design on the right on. I'm just going to sort of have it creeping like down the side here. And what I did want to do as well, if it's okay, is I just wanted to show you some of our fabulous makes from our design team, because I didn't get a chance to show you all on the live launch. So hopefully at the end of this show, I'll be able to show you. I'm also being asked, can I do the dandelion white onto black as shown on the packaging? I don't have it to hand now, but I could do it tomorrow. So yes. Which one are you using? I'm using the Secura. Look at that. Is that not just the most detailed thing you've ever seen in your life? How incredible is that? So you can see I've just got half of the design on. It's sort of like half and half, which I really, really love. Oh, Lillian's saying she's having to sit on her hands because of vet bills. Oh gosh, I know that. I've just paid for swimming lessons. See, it's not too bad when you pay the $4.25 a time, but then when they say, can we have 6 months worth, it's like somebody, Tracy's saying her rare earth ones were dried up when she bought them, so they went in the bin. Oh, that's a shame. That is a shame. Right, so before I actually add some colour to this one, vet bills can be horrendous. I'm just going to grab some samples very quickly of this Secura one. Just want to show you here how incredible. I'll do it on the overhead. Let's just do this one for you. So look at these ones here. So teaming them up with some of the lovely, if you remember this one, and just over that corner, and a little bit of ink blending on there, and then those splats popped on there. I think I had the opportunity to show you these ones. That's that one. We have one. So that's the technique where I showed you the other day, where we pop that ink on that embossing folder and just run it through. If you remember, very easy. You can spray it with water if you want to. Marilyn saying, oh sorry, not Marilyn. I've just seen Tina saying she uses Versifying Clair. And yeah, I've got about 2 of those. They are really good. I should get some more really. And there we go. Look at this one with sort of that ombre, dark, light, dark. Look how incredible this is. It's like a mould. It's like somebody's stuck a mould on top. It's absolutely beautiful. Oh, Eyes Ink and Distress. now much prefer. I'm getting into eyes ink as well. Costing me a fortune. I know. You know, having that bit of time to, you know, explore the products that are out there is incredible. So what about this one? This is one of the other designs on there. So I didn't tell you, but whilst we're just going through these, I'm going to give a full set of embossing folders away if you comment underneath this video after I've gone off air. So make sure it's kind. And I will give a full set of embossing folders, and I have the name of the lady that won from last show too. Got that name written here, so you have to stay tuned for that winner. So for a lady who commented on the last video. So this is that was doubled it up, Marilyn's doubled it up, and this one's been sanded back, I think. It's black underneath and sanded back. And you've got the Hello Beautiful from the stencils on there. And then what about teaming it up with just some flowers over the corner? I mean, it does not need anything more than that, does it? I just love how dimensional they are. Painted, absolutely beautiful. And then this is that yellow one I showed you with that spattering of, I think Marilyn said she sprayed it with a spray adhesive and then threw some glitter on, so it's giving you that sort of texture effect. Yeah, so if after the live show, if you pop a comment underneath, I will pick a winner. I like to do giveaways every now and then. I appreciate not everybody can afford to buy every time we launch something, so it'd be nice if somebody wins. And if you double up, you can always gift it to a friend in the Eureka fan page. So here's the one I did on air when we did our live. So that was just some coloured ink in the background, then went over with white. This is a fabulous rose one, so you can see the detail in there. But yeah, it's got that ink texture on there. It's really cool. What about freehand painted one here? So sort of pinks and greens and yellows, and then that lovely elongated stamps, and then the gold. Sorry about the reflection there. There we go. You can see how detailed that is. It's absolutely gorgeous. Just on gold, you think how quick these are. What about this one then? 2 embossing folders. So one on a zigzag, and then run the rose through the zigzag. You get this sort of white on white. So if you like white on white, colour again. We love a bit of colour, don't we? Or yellow and brown. Look how incredible that is. What about black and white? Black and silver. And then cream with some gold. Deboss side. Very clear on there, but it's got a deboss. It's beautiful. And then you sort of layering elements on there. Love the rainbow one. It's nice, isn't it, Jan? So have we got any more? Oh, yeah, we have got some fabulous ones here. What am I talking about? I sorted them all out as well for you. So these are really different. I love when you can be really different. So look at that one. So I think that might be watercolours and then a scratch over with a really dark pink. So if you like your colour on there. The deboss side. This one's a cool one. Who did this one? Elaine. So that's that beautiful frame. Then the lovely clock tower from a previous set. But look at that. Think about flowers you could build around there. Absolutely incredible. I love that embossing folder. Painted. On top of Grateful, Thankful, Blessed from the stencils. Look at this one. This one's cool because it's got like a scene in the centre. See that there? Absolutely beautiful. I love embossing folders that are not just a background. I love them to show you or sort of frame. I'm sorry if I'm going on here. Everybody's like, when's demo coming? You're boring me to death. What about half? But I just love embossing folders that create either a scene, a silhouette, or something where you can build and use your other stash. There's so many embossing folders on the market that are decorative backgrounds that we need to step away from them. I love this one. Step away from them really and try be a little bit more creative. And this is why these embossing folders, we called them the watercolour embossing folders, because, you know, from the boards I showed you last week, you can see that you can actually paint them. And that's what I'm going to do today and show you how gorgeous they can be. So just the last handful here with the other detailed background as well. Oh, sorry. So you can see how sort of, if you use the embellishments you have in your stash, this one with the alcohol ink, sparkly. Deboss side, And then, look at this one. So we have this one here, and then the envelope to match, can we see? They are lovely. And then a mirror board one in the background, and then on the white, so super cool. Green in the background there. What about just the bottom with some score lines? And then craft with a hint of grey on top. So I'm not going to go on anymore. I want to do some demo. So let's go ahead and do it. So we have our fabulous design here. First of all, we're going to need some clean, clear water, a brush, and our palette. Now we're going to create a masterpiece here. Nobody needs to know. Well, we have painted it. So what have we all been up to today? Has anybody been crafting? Anybody been crafting? So what I'm going to do first of all here is, yes, I'm going to paint the image, and I'm also going to create a sort of shadow underneath our design as well. So I'm just going to get a bit of black. No, let's not do black. Let's do blue. I'm just going to mix some blue here. I am using it on watercolour card. So let's add a shadow of blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop some blue into the crease of our embossing folder around our design. And remember to use the toe of our brush to get in the detail there. Can we see that there? And then with some clean water, I'm just going to take the water to the blue and drag it out. See that there? So it sort of pulls that blue into the water. So I'll just pick up some of that blue, pop it right in that crease. And don't forget, as you know from our painting classes on a Saturday morning, less water is better. So have a tissue or a cloth or something. Just pop that blue in there like so. I'm just going to take some clean, clear water and go up to the blue and just drag it out. You see already, so casted a shadow already underneath this area here. Just get right into there because and then grab some more blue. So I'm just going into the crevices sort of underneath the design where and it's good because the embossing folder has that raised element, so you can't really go wrong really, she says. I'll just get some water and drag it up to the blue, and that blue will just naturally come down into my water. But don't try and control it, just let it do its magic, yeah? I'm just taking some of that. So I like to do either a purple, a grey black or a blue halo around my artwork, but it is absolutely personal preference. Oh, just dropping some really dark blue into the corner there. So hopefully you'll have a brush that's got a lovely tip on it. Drag it out and you can see the colour's just doing its own thing. It's not, I'm not sort of like pulling it, pushing it around. I'm just literally going to let it do its thing. And I think that's the whole issue really with trying to do a halo, is you try and control it. You're never going to be able to control it. I wouldn't even try. It's really difficult. So just let it do its own thing. See what the result is. If you're happy with this result, brilliant. If you're not, then change how you did it. maybe less water, more water. Halos always make your artwork look more professional, so if you do have the courage to add the dark accent around, I do encourage you to try it or go for it, because it just elevates your design. So let's get into this line here. So I'm just using the toe of my brush, not the belly, just the toe. I'll drag it out. You see that there? So it's coming together pretty quick, isn't it? I'm going to be a little bit more brave here and add a little bit more blue. I'm just doing between these leaves in here. So I will be doing some painting classes again, and I will have details for you all soon. Just some Saturday morning ones again, some free ones. I know you all enjoyed them. As soon as I have some confirmed dates, I will let you all know. I'm using a size 4 brush here. It's the one that I probably always use unless I'm doing a background wash or something like that. So if you are buying a brush, I would suggest the size 4. It's just the one that you'll get the most use out of, albeit I have a room full of fancy brushes. So we've nearly completed our outline here. Now you can tape your artwork down if you want to. You know, you're not governed by just twizzling it round like I am. If you want the more professional white outline like it is a painted masterpiece, tape it down. Have I done it all? Oh, just down this side. So you can see I've got some dark. Doesn't it look really impressive when you just add darker areas and lighter areas? I'm not trying to get it even all the way around. I'm just literally adding that darker shade. I don't want it to be even. And then just some clean clear water and rub it in and then just connect it with that blue. And it will just naturally drag it out. And if you get a harshish line like here, just connect it with some water and pull it out. And the good thing about it is you can go back in and add more colour, add more water. It's watercolour card, so you can get away with it. Oh, so you're all looking forward to the painting classes. That's super cool. So let's just dry this one off with our gun. The reason why I'm drying it is because when I start to paint the flowers, it might seep into the blue and give me a bit of a muddy mess. I would like it to be quite a clean design. Sometimes that's not always possible though, but we do try. Right, so let's go ahead and do a pink flower. I'm just mixing some pink here so you can see what's going on. And again, it's exactly the same concept as you would as if it was your halo around. So let's just add. So let's just go for this one here. I'm just going to add that pink fuchsia probably to there, and then I'll do it to here too, and just go around those buds. And then I'll just connect it with my water. And then what will happen is the pink will just naturally pull out. You see that there? So you can see the pink is continuously moving around. I'm just going to go right to that very edge. It's doing its own thing. I'm not going to ask it to do anything else. There'd be absolutely no point. So let's do another one. So there is, I think these are yellow, but they're going to be yellow buds in here. So I'm staying clear of those. So if you haven't got our embossing folders, don't switch off. You will have embossing folders from somebody. Go and dig them out. Get your brush out. Have a play, because the results are completely different when we just run them through and add some ink and texture. They look really, really cool. See that there? Look. So just pick up some more pink. Now the rule of thumb is, as when I'm doing classes, is you never paint two petals together, because you take the chance and the risk of them bleeding. But because this has got sort of a rise and fall element to it, I am just going to go for it. But just bear that in mind if you are at home. They might bleed into one another. I'm just going to do this one a little bit darker on the rising part, so it looks like it's turned up. And then one more. And again, this might bleed, but I'm just going for it because I really want to just show you the results. Just going to add a little bit of dark pink in there so it pops. I'm just adding more colour to my brush and just dropping it in so it's darker in the centre. That looks like it's a turn up on a leaf, so I'm going to add that in. There we go. So let's move on to the green. So I'm going to go a darkish green. Oh, is that a bluey? Oh, that's a bit too vibrant. Let's go grass green. So again, exactly the same. We will add the green and pull it out with our brush. Get a thicker consistency going on here. So let's go with this one first. I'm just going to add some green. So I'm just laying down the initial lay down of green. Then I'll clean my brush, albeit it's mucky water, and I'll just add water to that green and just drag it out. We see that there? So we've got like, and if you want to, obviously you can add. I would suggest that maybe do one, just go for it and see what happens. And if you absolutely enjoy it, the second time round, go in and add darker shades. Like I just dropped in a bit of darker green there just to enhance it a little bit. But, you know, you've got to start somewhere. And if the starting point is laying down the colour, then do that first. See if you like it. Hopefully you will. You see it's pretty much coming together. So we've got some dark and some light shades tones going on there. So now our halo's already enhancing our design. So I'm just going to paint in the buds here and the stem. And how nice is it to have a card that's actually 3D? It's painted, but it's actually 3D as well. It's not a flat image. It's 3D. I'll get that green down. So I'm just laying that green down. Then clean clear water on my brush. I'm just going to wet the whole area and I'm just going to touch that green and pull it out. And I probably could get away with maybe a little bit darker green on there. I'm just going to add a little bit more. See how the water's just sort of feeding it through. So do have a play, that's what it's all about. So nearly done here. So I'll quickly get this green laid down. Then we'll add a load of splats and ruin it. This is a therapeutic class, I would say, today. So what you saw me do at the very beginning with our halo is the same all the way through the design. And it's good because you've got that detail in there, so the ink is actually falling into the gaps, which is also very cool, which takes the hard work out of it for us. I'm just filling in all the green parts here, the buds and the sticks and the stems. I do think they're going to be pink heads on there. So any gaps I've got where I'm not sure, I'm just going to go in with the green, just in case. That's okay, that's okay. We've got a bit of red there, green. So let's just add the last piece. Let's just add this little bit of pink here on this turn. So any area where I'm not too certain of, look, see what's happened there, the pink run into that green there. Don't do that at home. Let's just add some yellow buds to the centre. I'm just going to paint these in straight in. And now let's add some splats. Are you ready? I've just got a mix of the pink. Now the pink will disperse into that green. If you don't like the disperse into the leaves, don't do it while it's wet, but I like it, but it's personal preference, okay? Dry off your masterpiece first. Now you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, now you have literally gone and ruined it, but when I dry it, they'll practically disappear. You just need to have the courage to do it. I'm just going to take some of my halo blue too. I'll dry this one off. Nearly there. Well, let's get this onto a card and you'll see how different it looks when you get it onto a card. I'll just grab some glue and a tape pen because I've got a little bit of warp in my card, so I'm going to use both. So tape pen to help me out a little bit. Just give this a second to grab. So whilst I stick this onto this black card, a couple of things to tell you about. So I am back with you tomorrow at 3 o'clock, and we'll do some of the botanical collection again. And then Claire's with you on Thursday with a brand new launch live in the How to Craft Network studio, which is going to be awesome. 1 o'clock. You need to tune in. She's doing a Facebook Live, I think, tomorrow too. So she's got some excellent goodies coming. Oh, Jeanette says it's beautiful. Thank you. This is quite speed. This is like being done really, really fast. But if I just show you, like literally as fast as I can be without boring you all. But if I just grab the one on my board, which I literally did sit and totally enjoy doing. I'm just going to hold this down while I sit. Can we see that there? Thank you, Nathan. Nathan's just going to get a shot of this one for you. And I took my time with this. I was sat on the couch whilst I was painting it. So I know that you at home, you take your time and stay within those lines and add that depth and dimension in colour, you really, really are going to get beautiful results. And you've got a 3D image bearing in mind. It looks like it's painted, but as soon as you twist or turn that card, you've got that sort of 3D element on there, haven't you? There we go. You see that there? Just how gorgeous is that? See that dimension? Look at that. Super cool. With a few splats, as always. No image is no good without any splats for me. So let's mount this onto our lovely card here. But if you are a bit of a mindful crafter and you don't sell your makes and you enjoy them, and it doesn't matter if it takes you an hour to make a card, then literally it's going to be amazing. Now this is a very bright card, which is nice for a change for me. I'll just hold it down. So whilst that's sticking, I have the winner of last studio's botanical collection that I was going to give away. And the winner for that one is a lovely lady called Tanya Oakley. So Tanya, well done, sweetheart. You have won a stamp and die set from us here at Stamps by Me. All you need to do is Facebook message me or info@stampsbyme.co.uk and let us know your address and we'll send that lovely prize out to you. Well done, sweetheart. And then after today, when I go off air in a couple of minutes, if you pop a comment under this video, I will send somebody the full collection of the brand new 5 embossing folders that we launched in the How to Craft Network on Friday. So that is the lovely 2 frames and the beautiful 3 flowers, the rose, the budding rose and the Sakura branch, which is the one that I'm using now. Is Tanya on today? I don't know. I don't actually know. So this does, in fact, it's 5:10. I have a couple of minutes, so I am going to, if I can. No, I haven't got my sequins. Tom's had my sequins. So anyway, here we go, look. So that is one on a miniature card today. Just needs a little sentiment, doesn't it? Just popping on there. Maybe a few sequins or a few gems too. And you are literally got a handmade painted card. I did that quickly and the splats did bleed. But as always, the inspiration is there. Don't forget the halo. If you've got the courage to do the halo, please do the halo. You might actually surprise yourself because it does look quite cool. It makes that design pop. So that's it from me today. Don't forget to pop a comment underneath and I will pick a winner for tomorrow for the 5 embossing folders. And that's all I've got to tell you about. Nothing else, nothing's happening. Well, there's lots happening, but nothing's happening right now. So whatever you're doing, have a lovely afternoon, a lovely evening. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and I will see you all tomorrow at 3 o'clock for some more inspiration. Have a lovely afternoon, guys. Take care, everyone. Love to you all. Bye.